Arsenal. What's happening? What's happening?
Jeremy, it's early doors. I'm all right.
You're all right.
Right.
I would be a little bit worried because we all know that if you leave too big of a gap, Liverpool and City, in particular City, you can't catch them. The only team that has recently caught a team is City catching Liverpool a couple of seasons ago. So I just want to get your perspective as an Arsenal fan,
Yeah.
both of you.
Yeah.
Are you actually okay, or are you a little bit worried?
You know what? The reason why I'm okay is because I think we're 12 games in now. Is it up to 12 games?
Something like that. Less than that, maybe 11.
Yeah, so maybe 11, 12 games now. Arsenal have had a lot of major injuries. Again, like Odegaard, and again, it's a problem with Arteta. He's put too much on Martin Odegaard, for example, to be the build-up, the creative activity for us. So for me, that's been something that stopped us progressing. So now we're getting players back, even though Ben White is going to be out now they're saying for like 8 weeks. For me, I feel as if there's still plenty of time to make it back. The way injuries are happening, Liverpool can get their own injuries. And if that happens, that could push things back in our favour. Man City are struggling, not struggling, but they're going through a bit of a blip at the moment with the injury, off the back of the injury, Rodri. So I think there's plenty of time. If we can recruit again in January, I think that's so important because Raheem Sterling, clearly they don't believe in him. What I've seen from him so far, I'm not impressed.
Yo, he might be washed.
Yeah, I think he's done. Mikel Merino, I felt like he played well when he was playing next to Odegaard. So I'm now believing in him a little bit. Before I was like, potentially is another waste of money. But I'm feeling encouraged about it. So I feel like things are going to come together. There's still plenty of time. And bro, listen, you have to take it game by game, man. Game by game. Like 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago, City, where everyone was like, City's going to win the league. Rodri gets injured, and all of a sudden, like things are going tits up. It feels like things are going tits up for them. So yeah, I think you just have to take it step by step. And yeah, just try and rotate the squad as much as possible and try not to get them too many injuries. Like I feel like Arteta plays the players into the ground a bit too much. I feel like he doesn't really rotate enough. But I'm hoping that with guys coming back, he's able to do that a bit more and trust players like Miles Lewis-Skelly and Nwaneri as well.
Okay. Adam, what's your thoughts?
Listen, I've been thinking about this one, I've been thinking about it. International break, it's a time for reflection.
Yes.
I feel this season there's been a lot of time to reflect on what has gone on in the previous 3-4 weeks of the Premier League. Now, we're in the third stage of reflection. I can only look at it in parts, the season in parts. I think the first 3 games, were difficult. We had Wolves, people sleep on Wolves. We kind of made light work of them in the football sense. The scoreline was a little bit more, flattered to deceive, I think. But when you watch the game, we mashed work there. Then we had a difficult run of games where we had to play, I think it was Atalanta away, Villa away, Atalanta away, Spurs away. We came away with, 3 points? No, 1 point, 3 points, and another 3 points. Really good results. And then things start to get a little bit more difficult now. We go into another run of games, where we've had to play Newcastle. I think after we played Leicester and Southampton, we played Newcastle. Now, that Newcastle game worried me. It worried me because I started to think of our midfield composition. I started to look at it and be like, okay, I think we've got too many behind the ball players. Yeah. I look at Liverpool. Let me start with Arsenal. Okay, I look at Arsenal's midfield, right? I look at how we've built our squad. They're very bottom heavy. We've got a lot of defenders. We've got about 5 left guys who can play left back. We've got 3 guys who can play right back. We've got all the defenders we've got that can play full back. Majority of them can actually play centre back. Timber can play centre back. Yeah. Kiwior can play centre back. Tomiyasu, who I love as a profile, but who's never available, can place anywhere across the back four. Now, our midfield, we've got Jorginho, Partey, Declan Rice, Mikel Moreno. All these guys are really behind the ball players. The only one player we've got who can play ahead of the ball is Martin Odegaard. Sometimes we drop Havertz into midfield. It doesn't really work, and I feel like Arteta's stubbornness has cost him from being able to integrate a special talent like Ethan Nwaneri into the team. Yeah. We missed a window where we played, I think, Leicester and Southampton back-to-back home games, and he chose not to integrate Ethan into the team. The tougher games came where we needed someone of Ethan's profile, like an advanced 8, because we have too many behind-the-ball players. We need someone who can receive the ball in between the lines, move opposition players around. He did it. He chose not to play. He did this thing of playing Mikel Moreno there and then playing Rice and then playing Partey, who I think has been phenomenal this season, by the way. No one's saying anything. Liverpool now you look at Liverpool's midfield composition now. The way they built their squad, they're very top heavy. They're the complete opposite of us. They've got Curtis Jones. They've got Szoboszlai, who I don't think is great, but has talent and is a more advanced player. They've got all their front three. They're all strikers. They're all essentially forwards. Luis Diaz, Salah. We know what Salah's on. Nunes, but is a threat. Jota scores goals. Chiesa, who we haven't really seen. Gakpo, who's cooking, but no one's really saying anything about him soon, but he's coming. And they've got Harvey Elliott. They've got
Birch as well.
Gravenberch. Oh, yeah. Salah, obviously. Yeah, I said Salah.
Okay,
Who else? Like, you look at that team, it's very, very, very potent offensively. But where they might struggle is if an injury comes to Van Dijk, if an injury comes to Ryan Gravenberch, if an injury comes to a Trent long term, maybe over the span of 4 or 5 weeks, that's where they might struggle. And there's no way you're going to play this many games in the season and expect these players to pick up injuries. I think the bigger tests are coming for them.
Yeah.
I think we're capable of going on a run. I feel we showed that last season. They went to Dubai. I don't know what they got up to in Dubai. There's a lot of activities you can do in Dubai. Some are, explicit. Some are inexplicit activities. Those players came back refreshed, ready for a title charge. I don't know what they did in Dubai, but we need to go on a retreat. Maybe, I don't know what Arteta's been doing these last 10 days, 12 days, but the fruits of our labor will be shown over these next 3-4 months. The fruits of our labors will be shown over these next 3 or 4 months. And I need to see our brand of football improve now, because we've had a month where it was a bit stale. I think the moment we start showing we can score goals like we did last season, where we came back from that break, if we can go on a run like that, I think we'll be fine. I still believe in this team, but I think there are some concerns with how the team has been built, and that might come back to bite us.
Adam,
we're lacking a winger, and we're lacking a striker.
Let me ask you guys a question then. Is Arteta getting in the way of his own success? Is he holding Arsenal back?
So let me go. So I won't say he's holding Arsenal back because of where we've come from. I think you need to remember he's a first-time head coach. As time goes on, he's going to figure things out. Again, I feel like there's expectation for people to figure things out straight away. He's figuring it out as he goes. The fact he's not playing Sterling, for me, shows that he's not being stubborn, and he recognizes that this guy ain't it for him right now. So, yes, I think he's very, very stubborn with a bunch of other things, but those things have also helped Arsenal get to the point where we're at this moment in time. So, we have to see how the season plays out. I'm hoping that the person that replaces Edu is not going to be a yes man. Again, I'm hoping that is someone that's going to challenge Arteta with the signings that he wants to make. But I think, yes, Arteta kind of gets in his way with some things, but at the same time, that's the reason why we're at the level we're at now. So I am I'm still happy, because I feel like fans are trying to twist it and make it seem like, Arsenal are not going to win with him, etc. Like, nah, I still believe in him. The squad. So
the reason I position that question to you guys is, from a Man United perspective, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the man to get us to a certain position, create nice harmony in the team, but he wasn't the guy to take us to the next step. We all knew. I was saying that on this pod from back then, that I like Ole for what he's done. He brought a nice vibe, stabilized the club, but he's not the guy to come in and take us to Champions Leagues, to take us to the top of the league, right? That's the only reason I asked that question, Adam, because it seems like, Arteta. But I'm not saying this from a fan looking at you fans talking about your club, that maybe not you, Afo, but I'm saying what I'm hearing from some of these fans, is that they're unhappy with some of the decisions he's making. They're unhappy with some of the selection choices. I'm just trying to convey the points. That's all. Adam, what do you think?
I know you're not comparing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I know you're not. You're just using that as a.
Jeremy's a troll.
There's some tribalism going on in that question.
You're trying to gaslight, bro. You're trying to.
You know what? Player. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. You got to get yours off. I get it. You're a United fan, cool. But if we're looking at it, if we're looking at Arteta's body of work over 5 years, I think 5 years is a solid body of work to look at a manager, right? I think his body of work, pound for pound, is probably one of the top 3 coaching jobs in world football over the last 5 years. I can't think of many managers who, if you're looking at maybe outside of Pep, right? I think Inzaghi's there from Inter. I think he's up there. I think he's won, what, 2 Scudettos and reached a Champions League final, playing a brand of football with Inter Milan that's actually very, very good to watch. And they're a solid team.
Yeah.
I think you look at the job that I think
Ancelotti.
Ancelotti's Ancelotti, man. That Real Madrid team is peak. I think Zidane did a madness with half
So
a good.
why are you giving Guardiola credit, but you're not giving Ancelotti credit?
I said outside of Guardiola. I said
Oh, you
outside
said
of
outside.
Guardiola.
Okay,
I
sorry,
said outside. If you look at outside of Guardiola, you're looking at Inzaghi, you're looking at Arteta, you're looking at possibly who was that Bayern manager last season?
The Aston Villa manager. Saying
The season before.
I was going to say Unai Emery's done a man. The
Unai!
I said 5 years ago. Unai Emery has been 2 years. He's been less than that, 18
Even
months.
before
Was it
that.
2 years?
No, what were you talking about before? He won the Europa League. Yeah.
What, with Villarreal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. Unai Emery, fair. Yeah, let's put Unai Emery in there. Those 3 managers are probably the top 3 coaching jobs over the last 5 years. I think that's fair to say. Where Arteta took us from previously to where we are now, I can't be mad at that, man. I can't be mad at that. There was a time where I'd just be like, yo, I want my team to be a competitive team. When we had Mustafi, Kolasinac, Socrates, lack of threats. Not even lack of threats. When we had these guys there, these bums, bro, our club was in tatters, bro. We needed saving, and Arteta came and saved us. And I still think he can still get us to where we need to be. He just needs to stop being stubborn. I think he can be a bit stubborn. I think he could take too long to rectify a mistake. I think he identifies when he's made a mistake, but he takes too long to solve it. I think there was a period 2 seasons ago where Saliba got injured and he was playing Rob Holding at centre-back. He could have played Jakub Kiwior. In the end, he played Jakub Kiwior with 2 or 3 games to go, and we saw that this guy could play. He could have played centre-back and it would have been fine. Instead, it was too late. By then, we'd already coughed up the league. I think this season he missed the window of opportunity to play Ethan Nwaneri in that RCM role, where Odegaard positions himself in that midfield. Missed an opportunity. I think Ethan Nwaneri is a fantastic footballer. We've had talents like Wilshere, Fabregas, Van Persie come through at Arsenal and been given opportunities, and they've shone. Why can't Ethan be given the same opportunity? Our club is built on giving young talent opportunity. If you're good enough, you're old enough. And I think Arteta's slightly missed the boat there, but it's not too late. It's only 9 points. A lot could change.
Do you feel as if Arteta plays too much to seniority? Because I think that's my biggest problem with him as well. It feels as if he prioritizes, and I guess maybe that's how he keeps the team morale and the team happy. But sometimes it feels as if he goes down the route of, you're the older player, you've been here longer, I'm going to play you. The only player he seems to have not done it with this season is Zinchenko. Well, that's probably my biggest thing with him. I feel as if he maybe works too hard to not upset people, where reality is Gabby Jesus has not really been doing too much. So to bring him on to try and change games doesn't work, but I understand why you would, because he's one of the leaders in the change room. So again, so my question to you, Adam, do you feel as if he prioritizes seniority when it comes to picking who's going to be playing?
100%. I remember there was if you think back to the time when I think when Arteta was really struggling within the first 2 years of his job, right? And there were people calling for him to be sacked. He brought in Emil Smith-Rowe and started playing Saka on the right. I think he moved Saka from, left back / midfield role to right wing, and he brought in ESR. People were calling for ESR for the whole season, maybe the season before with Unai Emery, because ESR was actually introduced to the team under Unai Emery and started, playing well, scoring goals in these Carabao Cup games, FA Cup games. I just feel like he takes too long to make the right decision. We know he's smart enough to see what the problem is. I think he just takes a bit too long to rectify it. Do you know what I mean? I feel like with Arteta, I don't think we'll get a better manager. I think if Arteta was to leave Arsenal right now, he's getting the Real Madrid job. He's getting the job at Barcelona. He's getting the job at City. That's how good he is. Let's be under no illusions. We've got a top-class manager. I just think he needs to maximize the resources he's got left in the window he's got at Arsenal. Football changes very, very quickly. Nobody saw Liverpool come in this season and being top of the league. Liverpool are obviously objectively a very good team. You know, they've still got all-timers, you know. If Van Dijk was to retire today and Trent was to retire today, they'd be in the conversation as one of the best in their position in the Prem.
Yeah.
You know, Salah as well. Like Salah is in my all-time right wing team. Like there's no right winger I'm putting above him in my Premier League all-time 11. So we've really got to get our act together over the next, 2 months and go on a run and hope Liverpool drop points in this period. Because right now, I can't objectively say we're going to win the league. I think we're capable, but if you were to ask me, are Arsenal going to win the league? Honestly, I'd say no. Right now, I'm saying no. Right now, I'm saying no. But if I was to say, are we capable of winning the league? Are we capable of going on a run of to get to a Champions League final? I'd say yeah. I think the floor for us should be the absolute floor for it to not be a failure of a season should be second and a trophy.
So
second and the trophy.
What trophy? Which trophy? Which trophy?
FA Cup or Champions League?
Yeah, that should be the floor. Maybe my standards are too high. I don't know. People will say that, oh no, but come on, man. We've got 5. We've built this team up to the 5th year now. What are we in phase 5? Whatever Arteta calls it. Oh, we're in phase 4, phase 5. Bro, like it's time. It's time. I need to see something close. Like we've gone close to the Prem now, like 2 years running, right? We didn't quite make the cross over the line against Bayern last season in Champions League. This season is the season to show, okay, can you get to a Champions League final? I'm not saying win it, just get us to the final. Get us to the final.
Progress. We want to see progress.
We want to see progress. If we take a backward step, people will be looking at Arteta like, oof, is he another Pochettino? And I think Pochettino is a top manager. I think Pochettino, I think you look at that, his body of work at Spurs.
No, he's a top manager.
He's a top manager, man. I just think the Chelsea move was probably the wrong move he made, but I don't want Arteta's Arsenal legacy to be looked at as like, oh, he was just another Pochettino. Because people look at Pochettino in a negative light at Spurs. I think he's underrated, and I want Arteta. Okay, he's won. People forget Arteta's won FA Cup, but I would like him to solidify his time at Arsenal. I'm not saying it's going to come to an end anytime soon, but like I said, things change quickly in football. We need to see something. We need to see. I'll take an FA Cup and a Carabao Cup if we don't win the Champions League. I'll take what Liverpool did 2 years ago. Remember when Liverpool did domestic cup double and they finished second and they finished, I think, Champions League semi-final or final.
Okay.
If we can do something like that, close to that, then that's progress to me.
That's progress.
That's progress.
Okay.
I'm a different type of rock star. I got class and I got Henny overflowing up my shot glass. And yeah, I know I'm not a keeper, but can you